I am originally from Iowa. My grandparents were farmers and I grew up in the country, but I myself am not a farmer. I had spent 11 years working in corporate agriculture. It was never more evident after I had my second child that like life was flying by. And so I felt like it was time to make a change. So on February 1st of 2013, I quit my job without having really a great plan. And that very weekend after I left my job, the Super Bowl was on.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
We sat right here in my basement and loved it. I mean, everyone just stopped and stared. I didn't think anything of it when I saw it other than, wow, is that amazing and beautiful? But I read an article in the Des Moines Register shortly after that pointed out, yes, that was amazing, but where were the women? And not just in that commercial, but where were the women pictured anywhere in agriculture at that point? So I went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke my husband up and said, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start taking pictures of these women. So I came up with the name FarmHer, and I contacted a few of the women in that article, and I thought that they would say no, but they didn't. So that, in a nutshell, is how FarmHer started. It was this project. I was going to photograph 7 or 8 women that summer, put up social media pages and a website, and just kind of see what happened. Very early on, people started asking if they could buy shirts that said FarmHer, and it took me a little while to understand why. I was like, why would you want to buy a shirt that says my photography project on it? And then I realized I'd made up a term that women can identify with. I hear all the time still, that could be me, right? That could be me doing chores in the morning. That could be me, taking meals out to the field. That could be me driving the tractor or pulling the grain cart, And so I think that's the beauty of it, is that women could connect through it. I'd been running at it pretty hard for a couple of years. I still wasn't an employee. I wasn't able to pay myself at that point. We had an intern through Iowa State, but with a really full calendar and kind of going, okay, how am I going to make this work, long term, was kind of, if I could say, where we were at that point. I start checking my voicemails, and one of them says, hi, my name is Patrick. I'm from RFD TV. Give me a call. And so I thought, okay, I'll call him back. And so long story short, his name is Patrick Gotch. He's the founder of RFD TV. He had seen something about FarmHer that Iowa Public Television had actually done a segment on Market to Market. They'd been looking for programming for and about women on their network, which is a national cable television network that's in a little over 50 million households across the country. So we are getting ready to debut our 4th season. We are almost done filming it. It'll start in September. When I started this, 30% of producers in this country were women. They just did a new ag census, and the numbers came out in April, and that number has increased to 36%. I personally could have done cartwheels all day if I could still do a decent cartwheel. Probably can't. When I saw those numbers, and I think that they're even higher. I think that we'll see those numbers continue to increase. I had a woman, her name is Pam Johnson. She was the first woman who was the president of the National Corn Growers Association. And she has a story that she saw a picture when she was really young of a woman on a tractor or a woman farming, and that stuck with her and kind of reminded her, I could go be that. I could do that. And that's exactly it. Regardless of what your connection is to agriculture, or if you're just a person who is lucky enough to eat 3 meals a day, you are connected to agriculture, whether you know it or not. We all are. So even if you don't think that your connection to agriculture is great, it is. And taking the time to listen to these women's stories and grow through them is a pretty cool thing, I think, that we all can do to help not just today, but that next generation as well.